So today I want to go over my trades for the day. Today's overall profit was just over 2 grand. Did some good things, did some poor things, and I want to get right into it today. So my first main trade was CZOO. If we look at this chart, it was a nice multi-day runner that came down relatively hard off the highs, but still held a good portion of its overall move. And what I was looking for is what I call a listed first green day pattern. After a big run of ideally 200-300% or more, one red day in between. Here we closed red, so we had 2 red days. And today was the green day. We could see volume came back in. If you look at this wick, we had a nice spike. So how did I play this? So out of the gate in the morning, I bought some right away as it was going green on the day. I saw bid supporting on the ask. And I believe it was around 300 shares I bought. And I was being patient, saying, okay, if we crack the low of day, I'll sell those shares. But if we hold green, hold VWAP, re-break 10, we could really start spiking. Volume was starting to come in. We were getting back up towards 10. Volume was breaking through. Now we wicked below 10, but we came right back up to it. So I was adding. I only got 700 shares total. And my risk was going to be this most recent dip here, 928. Because if that failed, I would rather cut it and retry later. And luckily for me, we just got a nice quick up halt, and I sold it all to the unhalt right there. And that was a nice solid trade, as we could see for the rest of the day. It kept testing that 1218 top, but could never really break it, and then ended up fading all the way back down, which is normally what happens with these plays. Sometimes they hold up, sometimes they don't. So another play I traded was IBIO, very similar idea. We had a big multi-day runner, we had one red day, and then we had the bounce day today, which coming into the end of day here is weak and failed. But I was still able to lock in a pretty solid profit on this one. This morning I bought it as it broke over 295, 3 highs. And it wasn't working, so I cut it right away. I said, you know what, I would rather let this hold VWAP consolidate, prove it could hold 280s, and rebuy if it comes back up. So I let it consolidate, double bottom to 280s, came back up, started holding right around VWAP, and I started rebuying here and then adding when it got back up through 3, which is right there. And we got a nice little spike, but nothing all too great. I sold some here, some up here. The problem with this one, just look at it. There's no volume. The liquidity's dried up. It's not great. It sucks. So I just sold what I could get. And now that it closed red, I mean, this qualifies again for a listed first green day tomorrow. Hopefully there's more volume. Hopefully there's more liquidity that comes into the name. So CGC, this was a listed first green day on my watch list that I actually missed. And it's the same idea, big multi-day run, 2 red days on this one. And this one just held green and spiked right out of the gate. I missed it. But if you look at this chart, you see how it holds VWAP, see how it holds green, breaking over the highs. It's a great chart to watch for spikes. And then the one loss I took, which was a really dumb trade on my part, that of course I got top ticked out of here, was Reddit. I was looking for a long this morning. I did buy it at 45, but then it came right back down, so I cut it. And then, of course, that's when the spike happened. That happens more times than not with me. And then I ended up shorting it up here in the 450.5 level. And it held up, just was holding up way too well. I literally cut it, probably top ticked this candle here. And now it's fading, but it is what it is. Sometimes I make a poor decision. This was definitely a poor decision. It was a long setup, not a short setup. I just let my mind get the best of me chasing profits rather than going after patterns. And I have to lock that down now, reel myself in, get back into a good mental state, because this really threw me off and it's really a pain in the ass that I traded it, but it is what it is. There's nothing I could do now till the end of time. That will be my trade, and I have to live and die with my decisions. So that being said, I'm just going to ignore Reddit now, get it off my screen, see you later, not focus on it again. Another trade that I took but cut really quickly was CZOO. This was a potential short play for me, and I shorted a little bit pre-market here, and we faded right out of the open, but the second we started holding, I said, I don't love it. And I cut it, and good thing I did because it was one of those just grinded up all day. I really don't know what to do with it now, but I'm going to just leave it alone. But that was it. Those are my trades. Listed first green day treated me well with a profit of $2,257.28 on the day. Doesn't really get much better than that or much easier than that. I just made it more difficult on myself by trying to short red at the end of the day with all the strength. But it happens. We're going to understand what we did right, understand what we did wrong, understand that it is okay. I'll move on. I'm good enough to overcome my downfalls, and I'm even better to highlight the good things I do. So on that note, that's it. Relatively short video, nothing really too complex, just simple patterns that I'm following. And notice when I do the right thing and play my patterns, they work. When I do the wrong thing and go against my patterns, they don't work. So do the right things, don't do the wrong things. Be honest with yourself, talk to yourself, understand your emotions, how you're feeling. Right now, I'm a little upset by my Reddit trade and ending the day poorly, but overall, still a great day. Have to appreciate what the market gave me and move on for my next best opportunity.